Good morning, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader. Good morning, Friday morning here, Friday the 11th. So let's dive into what we are looking at this morning on the markets. Kind of crazy. We had a huge sell-off here in the overnight. Big sell-off after the market opened last night. I don't know what that was about. I haven't found anything yet. I haven't spent a lot of time looking for if there was any big data news or something that drove that big sell-off. Something obviously created that big move, about a 200-point move, I think, on the NASDAQ here in just a short little bit. But anyway, so we really gave back all of yesterday's move. Yesterday, we pretty much had an uptrending day. I think on the ES, we made new all-time highs yesterday, and we gave that all back. So very interesting. Puts us right back in the middle of this channel, which is something I don't really like. However, there's a key area that we've been looking at on the NASDAQ. I've had it on the charts for a while, around the 22,900s, 910s, 900, somewhere in there. And you can see this, reactions here. Around the 1st of July, end of June, early July, and then you had reactions in here around the 4th over the weekend. We've had reactions this week, not quite as clear, but then yesterday's the overnight low came right down to that area. Nope, this is the yesterday's low right here at the market open. That was yesterday's low, right at that same area, and we are right now in that same spot as price is at right at this moment. So here at 7:30, so there's still some time. So this is a pretty clear area. If that waits around for us, if it just kind of goes sideways and that holds, that could be a really nice break and retest, either long back to the upside or short to the downside. So that's something to take a look at, or keep in mind today, that specific area. And also looking at these reactions that we've got going on here from the July 4th weekend, and then the high of day on Monday, the 7th, we have the reactions coming in there. And this is a little bit messy here, but if we get a good break and hold above that for a long up into the highs, I wouldn't mind that. I think this one's better. I also think that I really like the short, and then this short right here, if this sets up, I also like this one as well. Here you have reactions coming in, low of days from back here in, what was this, 1st of July, end of June, early July. And then you have a hold coming in here. You have another hold coming in here. So we went from support, resistance, support. And if we get down to that level, that could be a good test long, or if we break through that, that could set up an excellent short. So those are the couple things looking at on the NASDAQ today. ES, similar picture. We have this fairly clear area here around the 6290, 6290, 6285. Price is sitting right there right now. Again, you have reactions coming in here, here, and here. And so if this flips once again and holds to the upside, that could set up a nice long. You would be longing into the low of day from yesterday, but I don't mind that. We fell really deeply through that in that overnight session on the ES, or last night's session on the ES. Matter of fact, that this needs to change. The new session low is actually down here on the ES. But anyway, like a long there. Also like a long if we get above this area. You've got some highs coming in over the July 4th weekend. You've got a high of day coming in here from Monday. You have a high of day from Wednesday. And you have the overnight kind of high area, not high area, but after the breakdown, this is the new high. So you have several reactions coming in right here around the 63.10, 63.12s. I really like that. If we get a break and retest, if this pushes up above there, you could retest those highs again. That could set up a nice little long trade there. So you have a potential long, and a potential short, in my opinion. And we have this big level that we've been watching for quite some time at the 62.70s. Still in play, although not quite as clean. So I'm leaving it on the charts. Typically I wouldn't, but this is such a big level stemming from back here. We had holds right here. This was right at the previous highs. And so we're holding above that. I just think that's a very much a pivotal point on the market, so that's why I'm keeping it on the charts. But we may or may not get reactions there. I'm not You know, we have it there. We're going to watch it. If we get reactions, fine. If not, fine. The bigger thing we're looking at right now, I'm looking at, is this area right here. You've got some reactions coming around the 6260s, 6250s. If you push this down, you can kind of see that a little bit more cleanly. You've got several reactions coming here, which we held below. We flipped above. We did have a little bit of messiness here, but we've really stayed above that. And so if we come down and create a break and retest short, that could set up a short play there. It could also be a bounce long, or we're retesting that level. So those are kind of the areas I'm watching today. I don't have this one marked because price is up here, but if that develops, we'll definitely take a look at that. There's the ES. Dow Jones, interesting. Here's this big level we've been talking about for quite some time, 44,660s. We did turn it red now since price is sitting below it. It may change here by the time market opens, and then we'll change it back. But very, very clean area here. The low of day from yesterday, sitting right here at the low of day from July the 3rd. No, July 2nd. From July 2nd, the low from July 2nd. And you have this low holding yesterday, and this big move on the overnight session last night came right down to that exact same level. So if we get some reactions here, that could set up a short. It could set up a long as well. I do have that marked right there. I also like this long. I really like this long if it sets up. Here you have some very clear reactions. You have some highs coming in here around the 2nd. You have lows coming in over the July 4th weekend, and then you have a high coming in on Wednesday. Wednesday's high sitting right there at that area. And so, and last night, after the big move, this was the new high in the overnight session that was close to this price as well. So you've got several key reactions there. If we get a break and retest long above that, I do like that. If we get a setup below, if this thing breaks down below the low of day from yesterday and we flip this script, so to speak, that can set up a nice short. And then the bigger, a really nice short would be this one right here. Very, very, very clean level right here on the 44,438s. You've had clean holds, push through it, and our clean resistance, we pushed through it, and we created that as support, support, support. So if you do this, sometimes it makes it really clean. You kind of scrunch this together, but you can clearly see how this held, and then we can see, or how this resisted, how this held now. And if it comes down to that point, that could set up a good break and retest long, or fall through for a short. So those are some areas that I'd be looking at on the Dow Jones today. On the Russell, really like this as well. We have the overnight low from yesterday, not the overnight low, the yesterday's low, very much like we had on the Dow Jones. Here you have yesterday's low. That lines up very well with the high of day from Monday. So Monday's high, yesterday's low. You're getting a very clear hold. Here you have a high coming in over the July 4th weekend. So you have this support, support, support. We pushed through it. We held it, and we have dipped below it briefly, and we're right back to that level. So in my opinion, that could set up a really nice, if we get something above that, we retest it for a long and up into these highs, that could set up a nice long trade. By the same token, if we get something where we test this again and we fall to the downside, that could set up a nice little short down into these areas. And then you have also one that I really like is this one here. This would be the high of day from, let's see, this is Wednesday, high of day from Wednesday, which is also an area, if the overnight high, or the second high, not the overnight high, but after the sell-off, this next high speed, so to speak, in the overnight session was right here around that same area. So that could set up a really nice long as well. So a couple things I'm looking for. I really like what I'm seeing on the Russell, and I really like what I'm seeing on the Dow Jones. We also might see something nice set up on the ES. I think ES is, right for me, ES, what I'm seeing is just a little bit more messy than what the Dow Jones and the Russell are. But again, that could change by the time the market opens. So, but that's what we're looking at today. It's Friday. We've had a good week. I just want to keep the week intact. Let's have a good day today. Try to really be careful with setups and only take really good setups. And if we don't get many trades, that is completely fine. So that's my approach to the day. And hope you have a good trading day. Thanks for supporting Black Coffee Trader. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care and so long.